Hi everyone, it's Claire Jarvis at Restore Fitness Therapies, and in this video I wanted to talk to you about why working from home might be causing you a few more aches and pains than you're used to and what you can do about it. Now, since the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of people have found themselves being forced to work from home, and even now we're in a situation where workplaces are starting to reopen. A lot of employers are deciding to keep people at home a little bit longer, or maybe some employers are deciding that they would like employees to work from home for other reasons. So it's something that we have to think about, that this may become a lot more prevalent in the workplace, working from home, whether it's 100% or it might be 1 or 2 days a week, and just to make sure that we're set up for this so that we can avoid these aches and pains and make sure that it's a really positive experience. Now, the reason why a lot of people are probably finding that their aches and pains are sort of setting in, it seems to have happened about 4 to 5 weeks into lockdown. We started to get a lot more regular participants telling us that they were really struggling with more aches and pains than they would normally expect. And there's a couple of reasons for that. So if you think in your office environment, which is the one I'm going to talk about, because that's the one where most people ended up working from home, you would have had a setup. You probably would have had HR or occupational health come round and look at your setup and make sure that you were physically comfortable. And that would have meant making sure that your desk was the right height for you, your chair had the right angle on it so your back was supported, the chair's the right height so your feet could be on the ground, making sure that your desk, your mouse, your keyboard are the right distance away from you so you're not leaning, that your screen's the correct height so you're not straining your neck. So there's all sorts of little things that would have gone on there to make sure that your setup was very personalised to you and was going to make sure that you were comfortable. Now, obviously coming into the home environment, and it all happened pretty quickly for most people, a lot of people probably found themselves working at kitchen bar stools, working on dining room chairs, being on these sort of solid tables where things are strewn out and they have enough space, maybe even had to work on the sofa or work sitting on a bed depending on what your kind of circumstances are at home. Now, for a couple of weeks, most of us kind of go through that and you don't really feel much difference. But like I said, 4 or 5 weeks in, your body starts having a very considerable reaction to that because you're missing out on the support that you need. You're probably finding if you're sitting on things like sofas or beds that your spine is completely curved, so it's causing you to roll forward and hunch there. A lot of people may have found that rather than having their usual lovely wide sort of desktop screen, they were suddenly confined to a very small laptop, which affects your posture as well. Maybe your screen now is downwards, you're spending more time looking downwards, straining the back of your neck there. Or like I said, maybe you're working on a very hard back dining room chair, which seems really great for your posture for a short amount of time, but actually is almost too stiff. It's too straight to sit on the whole day long, and especially if your feet don't touch the ground, there's no way you can adjust the height on those chairs. There's basically lots of reasons why your home environment is not suitable to be working in, and why a lot of people will struggle with aches and pains over that initial period and ongoing. The second reason, the final reason, is also because you will have lost out on a lot of incidental movement. So going to the office, even if you had a pretty sedentary job, you may have had to walk to the bus stop or the train station, or climb stairs getting into the train station, or park your car somewhere and then walk to the office. If your office was on the second floor, maybe you took the stairs, you had to walk to the kitchen to get water, coffee, maybe you'd walk to the local sandwich shop at lunchtime. So there's lots of kind of incidental movement there, and things like meetings as well, getting up and down throughout the office, going to the printer, lots of small incidental movement that would have kept you going. Now, in the home environment, you've suddenly lost all of that incidental movement. You could literally sit down at your desk at 8:30 in the morning and pretty much not move until 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening, or whatever your hours are. So it's basically a combination of your home environment not being set up personally for you to work in, but also you losing all of that incidental movement. So if you're in a situation where you either would like to continue working from home, or you've been told that you will be working from home, whether it's a day a week or it's going to be a permanent thing, we need to sort those things out to make sure that you are going to be comfortable. So the first thing there is we need to get the right setup for you. Now, what you should be able to do is potentially just bring your entire work setup from the office to home. Now your company might be prepared to arrange that for you, or it might just be a case of you having to arrange some kind of van or them allowing you in at some point to basically transfer your desk, your chair, your monitor, all of those things home so that you have your setup. If that isn't possible and you're going to have to arrange that for yourself, you may well be able to arrange a virtual kind of assessment with your occupational health advisor at work or your HR personnel so that they can see you and then send you the appropriate pieces of equipment or tell you how to adjust your screen or how to adjust your chair. So I would say this will obviously depend on the size of company that you work for and kind of what the setup is, but if you do have HR and you do have occupational health, get in touch with them because there could be a very, very simple solution to this to start with. And if they can't help you, then there's also lots of information online about how to check your setup, and then you may feel inclined to purchase a particular chair or something like that. I would also really recommend from a mental health perspective that you have a designated work area at home as well. One of the things that can happen working from home is we end up sort of working and eating and sleeping all in the same seat, and it can become mentally quite challenging. We all need that distinction between work time and home time. So if it's possible, if you have a room that you can work in that you can then shut the door on at the end of the day, that would be ideal. If not, it's about having a designated space, but then you put everything away so that at the end of the day you feel like you're off work and you're off duty and you can mentally unwind. And then the second part of this is trying to get all that incidental movement back into your day again. So if you used to have, say, a 10-minute walk to the bus stop in the evening and one in the morning, before you sit down for the day, go for that 10-minute walk. Ideally, maybe try and make it 20 minutes. Similarly, if you'd go to the water cooler, try to, rather than bring your glass of water upstairs, kind of make yourself walk down to the kitchen, have the water and then come back up again. You can always kind of work these things into your day. And I think what's really happened during this pandemic is we've all, as individuals and organisations, been forced to think a lot more laterally, a lot wider, a lot more creatively about how we work and how we operate. And we can do that on a very personal level as well. So try to have some fun with this. Think about how you can encourage yourself to move more during the day and adjust your work environment so that it's working for you, basically, because working from home can be absolutely fantastic if you've got the right setup. So I hope that's been useful for you, and do you leave your comments below. Hopefully we can inspire each other with the different things that people are doing to help make working from home work for them.